Hare Hare Bol. Jayong Vishnupad Paramhansha Parivrajakacarya Ashtuttara Shatu Shri Srimad Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschyatta Deshutarine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Get a stand. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtapraishu Abhadreshu Nittang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagvatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, Text 26. Kvacin, mitho, vyavaharan, kiñcid, dhanam, anyebhyo, kākiṇikā-mātram, apaharan, kiñcid, vidveṣam, vitta-śāṭhyāt. It's in a prose form, so I'll just read it through. Kathan mitho vyavaharan kiñcid dhanam anyebhyo kākiṇikā-mātram apaharan kiñcid vidveṣam vitta-śāṭhyāt. Okay, repeat after me. Kvacin mitho vyavaharan kiñcid dhanam anyebhyo kākiṇikā-mātram apaharan kiñcid vidveṣam vitta-śāṭhyāt. Kvacit sometimes, mitho, with one another, vyavaharan, trading, yat kiñcid, whatever little bit, dhanam, money, anyebhyo, from others, va, or kākiṇikā-mātram, kākiṇikā-mātram, a very small amount, 20 kauris, api, certainly, apaharan, taking away by cheating, yat kiñcid, whatever small amount, ba, or vidveṣam creates enmity, vitta-śāṭhyāt, because of cheating. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. As far as transactions with money are concerned, if one person cheats another by a farthing or less, they become enemies. Please repeat after me. As far as transactions with money are concerned, if one person cheats another by a farthing or less, they become enemies. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is called samsara davanala. Even in ordinary transactions between two people, there is invariable cheating because the conditioned soul is defective in 4 ways. He is illusioned, he commits mistakes, his knowledge is imperfect, and he has a propensity to cheat. Unless one is liberated from material conditioning, these 4 defects must be there. Consequently, every man has a cheating propensity, which is employed in business or money transactions. Although 2 friends may be living peacefully together, due to their propensity to cheat, they become enemies when there is a transaction between them. A philosopher accuses an economist of being a cheater. An economist may accuse a philosopher of being a cheater when he comes in contact with money. In any case, this is the condition of material life. One may profess a high philosophy, but when one is in need of money, he becomes a cheater. In this material world, so-called scientists, philosophers and economists are nothing but cheaters in one way or another. The scientists are cheaters because they present so many bogus things in the name of science. They propose going to the moon, but actually they end up cheating the entire public of large sums of money for their experiments. They cannot do anything useful unless one can find a person transcendental to the 4 basic defects. One should not accept advice and become a victim of the material condition. The best process is to take the advice and instructions of Sri Krishna or his bona fide representatives. In this way, one can be happy in this life and the next. Kvacin mitho vyavaharan yat kiñcid dhanam anyebhyo kākiṇikā-mātram api apaharan yat kiñcid vidveṣam vitta-śāṭhyāt. As far as transactions with money are concerned, if one person cheats another by a farthing or less, they become enemies. Om ajnana-timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishthang Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, the forest of enjoyment. This material nature has been described as a forest of enjoyment. Does anybody go to the forest to enjoy? Forest is a dangerous place. One may go to the forest to hunt, but nobody goes to the forest to enjoy. In order to enjoy, people go to big cities and places of where the facilities are there for enjoyment. So this is the paradox of this material nature. Actually, it's a forest, but people here are trying to enjoy. And it has been very graphically pointed out that who are the animals, dangerous animals in this forest. Who are the dangerous animals? Whom you think your close relatives. So that is the paradox. People are trying to enjoy, but what is happening? They are becoming subjected to all kinds of exploitation. That is the material nature. And that is due to the illusory energy of the Lord. Due to the illusory energy of the Lord, the living entities are trying to enjoy in this material nature. But actually, this is a place of suffering. And their effort for enjoyment is turning into suffering. Actually, the more one tries to enjoy, the more one ends up suffering. How? Because this is actually a place of reformation, a place of rectification, like a prison house. Why the criminals are put into prison? Why the criminals are subjected to all kinds of punishment in the prison house? In order to simply rectify his mentality, rectify his consciousness. A criminal has a tendency to break the law, and in the prison house he is being punished to make him understand that this is what will happen when you try to break the law. You will suffer. You break the law, punishment. But you abide by the law, you will be rewarded. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsingadev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai. Like this is how the animals are trained. How the animals are trained? The animals are given to do something, and when the animal does it rightly, the animal gets some reward. And if the animal does something wrong, he does it wrongly, then he gets a stick. So this is how an animal learns what to do and what not to do. Like this is how generally the dogs are trained. So human beings are also like animals, civilized animals. And Maya is training these living entities. And what is Maya teaching? The more you try to enjoy, the more you'll suffer. Because you are not meant to enjoy. You are meant to serve Krishna. Not just serve anybody and everybody. No, serve Krishna. Because your so-called service to others are actually your tendency to exploit them. The material nature, the only right action is to serve Krishna. Otherwise, whatever one does is a source of suffering. That is Maya, the illusory potency of the Lord. That is how Maya is actually training us. That is how Maya is correcting us, rectifying us. When we are doing wrong thing means when you, as long as we try to enjoy or exploit this material nature. Enjoy means exploit this material nature. The reality is, in this world, let us consider, man sees a beautiful woman and says, "Oh, I love you, I love you." But what's he actually saying? I want to exploit you, I want to exploit you. That is the reality. I want to use you for my sense gratification. That is the reality. But people, if you speak like that, people will think that you all are crazy. Or they will ban you. What are you talking about? Love. But our scriptures, what are saying? What are you calling love is not love, is lust. Lust. Lust means I want to enjoy, I want to enjoy. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita very clearly saying there is no love in this material nature. The real love is when that love is offered to Krishna. Atmendriyo priti bansha tare boli kam, Krishnendriyo priti ichha dhare prem nam. Otoeb kam preme bohuto antar, kam andhotamo prem nirmal bhaskar. What a clear and beautiful analysis of what is love and what is lust. The desire to gratify our own senses, the desire to gratify our senses is called lust. And the desire to serve Krishna, desire to give pleasure to Krishna's senses, Krishnendriyo priti ichha, the tendency to give pleasure to Krishna's senses is love or prema. Therefore, there is a vast difference between love and lust. Lust is the deepest darkness, kam andho tamo, and prem nirmal bhaskar, brilliant, pure light of the sun. Is darkness and light the same thing? No. It's complete opposite. So that is what has been pointed out in this chapter, the forest of material enjoyment. The illusory energy of the Lord is causing us to suffer because of our mistakes. But when one becomes engaged in serving Krishna, then his mentality changes. Like, let's consider, in the prison house, the prisoners are suffering. The prisoners are suffering, not that everybody who is in the prison is suffering. The prison attendants, the prison management are not suffering. Those who are employed by the king in the prison, they are not suffering. Only the prisoners are suffering. So right away, what is the difference? The prisoners are the ones who broke the law of the king. And the employees in the prison house, starting from the jailer to the guards, they all are king's men. They are serving the king, therefore they are not prisoners. They are king's men. Similarly, in this material nature, those who serve Krishna, they are not supposed to enjoy. They are not supposed to suffer, they are supposed to enjoy. Those who are opposed to the king, those who are averse to the king, those who are breaking the laws of the king, they are subjected to suffer. Now, this is how we can see, like, who are the king's employees who are taking care of the affairs of this material nature? The demigods. Demigods who are actually taking care of the affairs of this prison house. Therefore, they are enjoying. But they are enjoying, therefore heavenly planet is the place for enjoyment. And earth planet downwards is the place for suffering. So upper region is the region where they are submissive to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The demigods, the sages, the exalted personalities, all the way up to Brahma. Now, the prisoners, let's consider the prisoners. What is their situation? The prisoners are reminded, sometimes the prisoners are told, look, you know why you are suffering? You are suffering, you are being punished because you have rejected the Lord. You have rejected the Lord's authority. So surrender unto Him. And the Lord Himself comes and reminds us about that. Why are you suffering? You are so dear to me. Just surrender unto me and then you will enjoy with me. And somebody listens to that instruction. And he says, my Lord, I surrender unto you. Then the Lord, who sees everything, who is omniscient, who is the super soul sitting in everyone's heart, He knows what's happening in the heart of that person. And when He sees that one sincerely is trying to surrender to Him, He reports to the demigods, the controllers of the affairs of this universe, and tells the demigod, look, this individual seems to be surrendering, so take care of him, see how he behaves. And then immediately the demigod's attention turns towards him and they start to watch him. And as they see that he is actually being surrendered to the Lord, becoming submissive to the Lord, the demigods start to provide him with facilities, including Mayadevi. Mayadevi says, no, I am not going to punish you anymore. Just like when a criminal surrenders to the king, the police does not then punish him. Rather, police helps him to go to the king. The same policeman who was punishing him at one time, now he escorts him to the king. So that is the role of Maya. To the criminals, Maya is giving the punishment. And to the law-abiding citizens, Maya is taking them to the Lord. The same Maya. But she has two features, Mahamaya and Yogamaya, because of a living entity's attitude. When the living entity's attitude is criminalistic, then Maya is punishing. When that person's attitude changes and becomes submissive to the Lord, then the same Maya as Yoga Maya helps him to go to Krishna. So this is how a living entity who sincerely submits to the Lord begins to get all kinds of facilities from the Lord. He is not suffering anymore, nor is being punished anymore. Rather, he is getting all kinds of facilities. And then what the prison authorities do? The prison authorities put him up as a role model. Tell others prisoners, see, because he surrendered to the Lord, see all the facilities that he is getting. And he himself goes and tells the people, you know something, ever since I surrendered myself to the Lord, my life changed. No more punishment, but facilities. My life has become so wonderful. So that is the role of a devotee. A criminal turned into a saint by surrendering to the Lord. And now he goes out and tells everybody, why don't you surrender to the Lord? And you will see what benefits you will get. And then eventually the king considers, well, he is a nice servant. And and I need some good servants. So the king then sends him his private jet to pick him up and bring him to his palace from the prison. So this is the reality of this material nature. And that is where Krishna is reminding us, the scriptures are reminding us, the sadhus are reminding us all the time. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Just surrender to Krishna and your life will become blissful. And he does that. When he does that, then he sees all kinds of wonderful things happening. But at the same time, the allurements of Maya will be there also. It is not that straight away the Maya will say, okay, since you have surrendered, now you are delivered. No. Maya will say, let's see how sincere is your surrender. And from time to time, Maya will give that temptations. Come, come, enjoy me. Come, come, enjoy me. That is Maya's business. Maya will give all kinds of provocations. And what should be the devotee's attitude? Please don't tempt me. Please. All I want is to serve your brother. Please allow me to go to your brother and serve him. Please allow me to serve him wherever I am. That is the prayer of the devotees to Maya Devi. Please allow me to. Yes, you're putting these temptations. But let me turn these temptations into the inspiration to serve. Like when an exam comes, how does the exam come? Examinations come as a frightening test. Oh my God, what will happen? But when you pass the exams, then what happens? You are promoted. So these allurements, these temptations of Maya are actually a possibility of become promoted in our spiritual life. So we should not be afraid of these Maya's temptations, but we should actually turn them in serving Krishna in order to pass the test and get promoted in our devotional service, in our spiritual life. And in this chapter it has been so vividly pointed out. Best of friends. Best of friends. But because of that cheating propensity, the friendship turns into, becomes so bitter. I'm sure you all have experienced that. We all have experienced that. People we trusted turned into enemies. Because we trusted them, they took advantage, they cheated, and because of the cheating, the relationship got spoiled. Or because they couldn't cheat you, then also the relationship gets spoiled. Because they couldn't cheat you. So this is the material nature. Therefore we should be very, very careful. How do we deal with each other in this material nature? That's why the safest course is to put Krishna in the center. Then what will happen? Anyway, the first consideration here is, what's the difference between material and spiritual? What's the distance between material nature and spiritual nature? The distance is, when I put myself in the center, it's material. When I put Krishna in the center, that's spiritual. That's the distance between material nature and spiritual nature. Therefore, whatever we do, let's do it with Krishna in the center. Then all these problems will disappear. And then what will happen? Those who won't put Krishna in the center, they themselves will go away. Because they won't be able to stand you. Because you have become so pure. And the relationships that are based on Krishna are spiritual and they are eternal. Those relationships are most profound. And this is the litmus test of our relationship. We have seen, when we took to spiritual life, what happened to many of our friends and relatives. They on their own went away. Because they couldn't tolerate the Brahma Jyoti that were coming out from you. It became glaring for them. And then, those who were so far away, had never any relationship, they became so close to us. That is what Krishna consciousness is. In simple words, in Krishna consciousness, when you take to Krishna consciousness, don't become surprised if your friends become enemies and your enemies become friends. But the thing is, whether friends or enemy, devotee doesn't care. To a devotee, he is Suridam, also he is a Surid. He is well-wisher of everyone. Those who don't want to take to Krishna consciousness, they turn away from him. Devotees don't say, you go away. Devotees' mood is, please come back. Please come. Let's stay in this wonderful world of Krishna consciousness. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Dev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So that is the beautiful world that Srila Prabhupada has created for us. So let's take full advantage of this beautiful society, the beautiful house, the beautiful world that Srila Prabhupada has created for us. With Krishna in the center, let's mold our lives. And everything will become so wonderful. And Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness means Prabhupada wanted us to do three things. Festivals, Krishna Katha, that is Nam Sankirtan, and Prasad. Just take care of these three things. And we saw, like just last few days, the festival that we had, I'm already getting phone calls from the devotees who went back to their homes. Oh Maharaja, I'm missing the atmosphere so much. I wish I didn't leave. I wish I could continue staying there. They have gone back to their homes and they're feeling as if they're out of place. They're missing. Why? Because of the festival. Therefore, Prabhupada said that let there be festivals every day in Krishna consciousness. Let's make our arrangements so beautiful that it will become like a festival. Whoever will come, it's not that there has to be some specific occasions to have the festivals. Let's turn our every day into a festival. And the festival, what is the festival? Festival again is, Prabhupada pointed out, is a presentation of culture. Through the festival we present our Krishna conscious culture. And Prabhupada wanted to have a cultural conquest. Cultural conquest. In Krishna consciousness, everything is a culture actually. Like there are, the philosophy is one of the main aspects of culture. Singing, dancing, drama. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the drama last night. How was the drama? Very nice. And I got the taste of the other day's cultural program. It was so impressive. I'm already making plans for future of this cultural presentation. And and I was actually thinking I'll be going to London, and I'll be there for 7 days, 25th to 31st, yeah. And in that 7 days I have 12 programs. And the thing is that the organizers, I was actually telling them, like let us present, and these programs are actually in big corporate houses. Like Ernst & Young head office, HSBC's bank's head office, then ultimately it's going to the Parliament, British Parliament. And I was telling them to make it a cultural presentation. We'll start off with a dance performance. Then the first will be actually singing. That is the aspect of culture. And then dance program, then presentation of philosophy. And then prasad. So just to give them the taste of Vedic culture. See, the highest culture. Where do you get this kind of singing, music? That involves everybody. Other musicians, they do, they just give a solo performance or the orchestra. They can't include everybody. But in our culture, in our music, we include everybody. And it's the sweetest music that anyone has ever heard. Then there will be dance performance. So, in day before yesterday's program, I found a brilliant talent. So I decided to present her there. Because and then we'll present the philosophy and discussions to show that we have the best, highest wisdom. the greatest knowledge. And then prasad. Where anybody gets a prasad like that, food like that? People get surprised that we are vegetarians, but we have such a culinary culture. They think vegetable means salad. But here, we have every 50 miles radius has their own culinary culture. Especially when you go to Bangladesh, we see that. One district has their kind of cooking, another district have their kind of cooking. And it becomes difficult to figure out which one is better than the other. Everyone is so delicious. And then we can go to South Indian, North Indian. And in South India, there are different, there's Keralite culture, culinary culture, Andhraite culture, Tamil culture, Konkan culture. In North India, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Bengal, Orissa. People cannot even imagine what kind of... and that culture is the most effective one. Prabhupada told us, the best way to enter into one's heart is through his mouth. So this is how we have to present our Krishna consciousness, and that's how Prabhupada wanted us to conquer the world. We are not going to conquer the world with guns and weapons. We are going to conquer the world with our culture. And this is how the forest of material nature turns into a beautiful garden, Nandankanan. It was a forest, but now it is transformed into the most beautiful garden. And that's what Krishna consciousness does. It was a forest, but now it has become Vrindavan. Ban, a forest, but the forest of Vrindadevi. The most beautiful place. So beautiful that people tend to give up the most beautiful places to go there. Rabindranath Tagore, although he was not a devotee, but he had some semblance to devotion and appreciation. There is one poetry that goes like, Ami ছেড়ে দিতে রাজি আছি সুসভ্যতার আলোক যদি হতে পারি ব্রজের রাখাল বালক. I am willing to give up this civilization if I could become a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. So that is what the world is waiting for, and that is why we have such an important responsibility on our shoulders. Let us present this Krishna consciousness to the world in such a way that the whole world will become attracted. Now, what are the pitfalls? The pitfalls are our internal conflict. If people come here and they see that we are fighting among ourselves. If they come here and they see that we are also Moras, grumpy-faced. If they come here and they see that we are not even willing to talk to them, then who will be attracted to us? Let us try to offer those who are coming the best of us. Let's create the atmosphere which is so divine, so sublime, so alluring, that as I was saying, when they'll go home, they'll say, well, let's go back to Ujjain. This is how they leave their home and come here, as many of you have already done. And I'm waiting for the others to do that. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari. Does anybody have any question? Yeah, let's see. So, the written questions will be preferred. Dear beloved Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, thank you so much for giving wonderful class. The question, dear Gurudev, as you said, when a person changes his attitude and becomes submissive, then he will no more suffer. So only submissiveness is the parameter of surrender. Okay. Yeah, submissiveness means surrender. Whose question is this? Yeah. What is the difference between submissiveness and surrender? Same. So you submit to Krishna, that means you are surrendered. Right? The second question is, as Srila Prabhupada write in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, that advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. Attitude of follower. What do you mean? As Srila Prabhupada wrote in the preface of Nectar of Instruction, that advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of followers. The followers, where is the follower? Attitude of the, okay. So the question is, okay then, so do you have any problem in understanding that? Is the attitude will depend, show the advancement. Right? Huh? That attitude is? Yes, that attitude is, yeah, surrender and service attitude, friendliness, compassion, all the good qualities. The beginning, the first consideration is surrender, and then all these good qualities will develop in that person. Next question is, what kind of attitude Srila Prabhupada wants us to develop? The attitude of devotion, attitude of surrender. Okay, Hindi question, but English में लिखा है, आपका सर्वेंट, और उसके बाद और कुछ लिखे हैं. Please forgive me for keeping my name anonymous. Okay, so who wrote this? आपका इस श्लोक में ईर्ष्या की बात हुई है, एक तरफ पैसे के पीछे. कभी कभी हम देखते हैं कि भक्तों के बीच में भी ईर्ष्या हो जाती है, परंतु केवल पैसा ही नहीं, पर ऐसी वस्तु के पीछे जैसे कि किसी को एक्स्ट्रा सर्विस मिलने पर, एक्स्ट्रा अफेक्शन मिलने पर, किसी को अगर एक्स्ट्रा अटेंशन मिल जाए तो भी हाँ, और किसी से अगर बच्चे ज़्यादा प्यार करे और आदर दे तो भी प्रश्न है गुरुदेव कि हमें अपने आप को ईर्ष्या के स्थिति से कैसे बचाए, कैसे डिस्टर्ब ना हो जब दूसरे ईर्ष्या कर रहे हो, और स्वयं कैसे दूसरे को प्रीति ईर्ष्या के अनर्थ से दूर रखे। एंड दैट इज नाउ टू नॉट बी एनवियस वन सेल्फ। गुरुदेव क्या मार्गदर्शन दीजिए, कृपया मार्गदर्शन दीजिए। आपका आभारी प्रकट करते हुए आपका सर्वेंट जो अपना नाम एनोनिमस रखना चाहते हैं। Okay, very good question. Questions rather. Oh, in English. Huh? Okay, yeah, sure, I'll translate in English. So the question came that you mentioned that from this verse that envy develops due to money, but we sometimes see that even among devotees there is envy when someone gets some extra special service, others become envious. When someone receives extra affection from senior leaders, when someone gets some extra attention, or when somebody's children receive extra affection, then also the parents become envious of those parents. So the question is, how can we save ourselves from this kind of situation, this kind of calamity? Yes. मैं हिंदी में बोलूं या हिंदी? और तो हमको तो क्लास तो अंग्रेजी में हो रहा है, तो जो प्रश्न लिखे हैं वो तो क्लास पूरा समझे हैं, right? So okay, I'll answer the question in English. So as long as we are in this material consciousness, these tendencies will be there. What are those tendencies? Lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride, envy. Kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. Irsha means matsarya, envy. So, जब तक हमारा मनोभाव इस भौतिक जगत के द्वारा प्रभावित रहेगी, तब तक ये जो छह दोष हैं वो रहेगा ही रहेगा। मतलब काम, क्रोध, मद, मोह, ईर्ष, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मद, मोह और ईर्ष्या, ये रहेगा। तो ये हमें समझना होगा कि सब एकदम शुद्ध भक्त नहीं बन चुके हैं। हम में से हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं प्योर डिवोटी बनने के लिए, शुद्ध वैष्णव बनने के लिए, हृदय को पूर्ण रूप से निर्मल करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो कोशिश करते समय थोड़ा बहुत गलतफहमी प्रकाश हो सकता है। We are practicing to become perfect, and while we are endeavoring for perfection, there will be some defects manifest in us, but we should not take them very seriously. The question shouldn't be what is happening to others, but the question should be what's happening to me. Am I becoming envious? Am I becoming angry? Am I becoming greedy? So that is Krishna consciousness. There also, this is the difference between material attitude and spiritual attitude. In material attitude, we find faults with others. In spiritual attitude, we tend to look for the faults in ourselves. We find faults with ourselves. What's wrong with me? That is the spiritual attitude. And material attitude is to find faults with others. Only when you become a teacher, then you can find faults with others, because it's your responsibility to correct them. But you do it with an attitude of correcting them, not to criticize them or badmouth them. So, प्रश्न का उत्तर मिला है? जिसको सर झूम रहा है, मैं सोचूंगा कि आप ही प्रश्न किए थे। Okay, some questions from the internet. Prema Manjari Dasi from Mumbai. Hare Krishna Maharaj, you say that one should simply surrender, but at the same time we also have to make efforts. How do we know when to act and when to depend only with inact, in other words? When to act with Krishna in center and when to depend on Krishna. So depending on Krishna is also acting on Krishna, with Krishna in the center. When you can do something, you do it for Krishna. When you cannot do something for Krishna, then you pray to Krishna that you can properly execute it. So that way, depending upon Krishna also is putting Krishna in the center. So, so that is the question. That is the answer, Prema Manjari. When you can do it, you act. When you cannot do it, you depend. Right? But the main consideration is your intention, your motive. Is it for Krishna or is it for my sense gratification? Is it for Krishna's pleasure or is it for my sense gratification? These are the two considerations. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. How many of you will be leaving today? Okay. So thank you all very much for coming. And as I said, when you go home, you can decide whether to stay there or come back. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande. This side I didn't see how many of you are leaving today. Okay. Anyway, come back soon. Thank you, Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila.